today's outfit. Can you see that? Raining. Here we go. Morning, mate. Love your shoes.
Thank you. Almost you should let me sit.
No, I shouldn't. Welcome to the chaos. There's my knitting bag that I left here last night. Oh dear. Right, what I need to take over, I need to refill my water bottle and get my computer booted up. I'll put the air cons on, but I won't put them on to about 20 degrees, I think. It's just damp more than anything. Let's go over here. I always put a jigsaw puzzle out for our kids. And when I say our kids, I mean me and the kids. So I don't open during interval, morning tea, but I open at lunchtime. And I work through lunch. So there's a group of kids that like doing puzzles, so we sit together and I just, I have my student librarians that help me out up here. Masks, not many people are using those anymore. Had all these bloody signs everywhere. Yeah. I'm going to start my stock take today. So every single item is going to be scanned. I better go and turn this light on too. These kids, they pull all these chairs out. So it's my office in here. The other funny thing about this library, the first time I walked in, it was like deja vu. Because what I didn't know is, it was exactly like my high school library, and I went to school in Wairoa. Everything exactly the same. And it turns out that these were prefab Ministry of Education designed, well, not prefab, but a design that they put through a lot of New Zealand schools in the late 60s, early 70s. And that's why I had deja vu, because it was a carbon copy of the school library I had. Except it felt smaller because I'm an adult now. So yeah, some of our books. I get some for the adults as well, and the older students. It's a little bit dark in here. I haven't turned on all the lights. It's a little, I need to find my bee. I called it the book nook, but now it's called the ook nook. And unfortunately, usually it's naughty kids that try and sit under there. I always get them under control. By term 3, I've normally got them under control, but you get all the year 9s, which is the first year of high school, they all kind of rock up with a bit of an attitude at the beginning of the year, and they think they can be little smart asses and not obey our rules, which are not designed to inconvenience them, but allow for a smooth running of a space. I'm just like, sorry, out. And yeah, I've been told it can be a little bit scary, but it's a safe space for a lot of kids, and they love coming in here with us. So yeah, I'm going to go and make a cup of tea now. And oh, that other aircon didn't turn on. I think the batteries are running a bit low, and you have to be really close to get it going. That'll do us. Right, let's go and get our day started. Cup of tea. I'll take that knitting over, do a bit of knitting before I start work. I always get here early so I can do all this stuff and then have a knit and chat with my mates. Hello. So I've just finished, just waiting for the school buses to go behind me in the car park. And I'm going to head down to, go to Countdown, go to the supermarket, grab a few bits, go to the pharmacy, grab a prescription, go to the warehouse and pick up a click and collect order, and then it's home. Righty-hoo, I'm home, and there were some parcels waiting for me. But I thought I'd show you my click and collect. So I wanted to treat myself to some perfume I've always liked. But it came in 2 boxes, so I'm assuming one is the sample. I don't know why they would have put it in 2 different bags, but you'd think they'd just send it in one box. Oh, lots of fire starters here. I thought that by so much scratching. This is a very, very nice perfume. I'll open the box and show you later. So let's have a look and see what was in this one. Here's me thinking, you know, I've pre-cut the boxes and parcels. This will just be the free sample that was, how bloody ridiculous is that? Guarantee you, I'll put it down. Then I normally just buy supermarket wool wash, which is fine, but then I saw this online. So a lot of people use it, so I can smell it. It smells nice. So it's a treat for myself. Holy moly. Right. Then I got some of my Kmart order, and I actually thought that it was only going to be 1 parcel, but it looks like they may have actually sent me the rest of my order. So we'll see. You don't really need to see Evans undies, but those are Evans undies. And then in this one, more packaging, more plastic. I don't have a Kmart in Gisborne, it's like a 3-hour trip. Oh, it's not even the rest of it. That doesn't sound very promising. I can guarantee you it's broken. Look at it. Look at that. I've calmed down now. I was pretty mad. I've contacted them and I'll get a refund for that, but honestly, all that packaging for like a measly handful of little items. But look at this. It's very blingy. Like the last one I had.
didn't get that. Could you try again?
Go away, please, Siri.
Okay.
I just burped. I think I took that blingy bit off the last one I had, but it's a really pretty scent, so I treated myself. Evan will be happy with his new gruts. Can you see how red my cheeks are? I had this massive hot flush in the pharmacy. So the pharmacy's right next to the doctor's, and when you get a script, like particularly if you just ask for a repeat, they'll just send it over, and then you get sent an email and a text saying that a prescription's been sent over. Click the link to organise pickup. So I did that this morning, said I'd be in later today, turned up just before 4 o'clock, and it wasn't ready. Just the whole point of doing that is so that it's ready when you come to pick it up. So the place that I needed to go to pick up the perfume was just across the main road, across from there. So I said to her, look, because she said, oh, it'll be 20 minutes. So I ran over there, grabbed the perfume boxes, chucked them back in my car, ran back across the road, and then I had to wait for another 15 minutes. And I just was overcome with this mess, and I had sweat running down my neck. I was wearing a mask. I took the mask off. I couldn't cope. I was like, well, if I get COVID, I get COVID. I just can't. I can't deal with it. So now I'm going to watch some Netflix because I saw something really juicy on there. And me and my friend at work were talking about all the different shows that we watched in the holidays, and we've given each other recommendations. I've got the roast beef bowler roast on. It's going to be a little bit late, but that's okay because Evan won't be home till late, and Jess is going to be at the gym till late anyway, so that'll be fine. Oh, wow. Look at those rosy cheeks. Oh. Anyway, I'll show you my dinner when I've done my dinner. I'm going to do some knitting on my MCOW. I did a little bit today in my break, so bye. Right, I'm just about to make my gravy. So I've got, can you see in there? Roast vegetables, the meat. I've got oil heating for my Yorkshire puds. Peas about to boil. Mix for the Yorkshire puds. So I just want to put some salt. This is what I use to roast. I put the salt in there. Does that sound like Jamie Oliver? Not really. Go back in the pantry. Oh, you probably didn't need to see the pantry door. Might have to edit that out. Right, so oh, my brain is dead. I'm going to take the whisk out of here. Just run it under some water. It doesn't have to be totally clean because it's just going in here. And I just want to get all that gravy off the bottom, soaked up by the... I poured a good chunk of the fat off just to leave the goodies. Probably should have left some fat in there really, but that'll be alright. Now I was going to use the water from the peas, but that's not ready yet. So I've just got this little glass of water there, and it's stayed in my sink. That's from that whisk. It's whisky business. Right. This looks really, doesn't look very good at the moment. But by the time I'm finished, there'll be no lumps. More water. I like the whisk because it kind of scrapes the stuff off the bottom, but it also gets rid of the lumpies. Oh, yum. I don't always do a gravy when I do a roast because it's just fiddly, and when you're tired it's, you know, but yeah, my energy levels are a bit better at the moment, so while the sun is shining, make hay. Make hay while the sun shines. Is that what you say? Right, let me taste that. It needs more salt. I remember my mum once, we went over there for a roast, my kids were small, went over to her place, and we were having a few wines. We went to eat dinner, and man, the gravy was salty, and we realised that because she'd had a few wines, she'd actually salted the gravy too much, like she'd forgotten that she'd already salted the gravy. It was very funny. She'd never ever lived. Oh, look at that shape. Stop it. Thicken that up, put that flour off. I'm not pretending to be any sort of cookery expert here. Might actually chuck nice, be a little bit nice. Right, I'll check that oil might be hot now. Ready to go. Check out these earrings. The squeaky door is my burglar alarm, just so you know. That's what I tell people when they kindly inform me, oh, your door's squeaky. Yep, so people don't sneak up on me while I'm working. Right, snack, grab my water bottle, lock the door again. Head over for a cup of tea. Staff briefing. Oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, someone's left their jacket in here. Is there a name on it? Who knows? That's better. It's been a busy day today. I have mainly been doing stock take, but I did have a class booked in last period, so I was a bit busy with that. What else? I went to bed really early last night because I was having hot flushes or hot flashes or whatever you call them. and then a headache started from that, and I gave up and I went to bed. Read my book a little bit and went to sleep. But I had a really good sleep. Bit tired still today. See, I say that and then I yawn. But my plan is when I knock off here, I'm going to go home and I need to have a bit of a tidy up. I didn't do the dinner dishes last night and I didn't do them this morning either. So it's not that bad, it's just a few plates. But yes, so I'll do that. And what else? I don't even know what to have for tea. Jess probably won't cook tonight because I think she's got a course tonight. Maybe tomorrow night I have a night off. So yeah, so what else can I tell you about? The week's flying past fairly quickly. It's pretty much how my work week goes. You know, I go to work, I go home, I cook tea, I go to bed, I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I cook tea. And usually quite buggered. But this afternoon I would like to, because I sort of, in the holidays I managed to get the house to a point where I didn't have too much lying around, and I'd like to maintain it, because then it becomes unmanageable. So I'll go home, do a few bits, and then I can chill out for the rest of the evening. I've still got 4.5 repeats of the M-Cow. I thought that might have been someone coming through the door, but it's just someone walking past the door. What else? Oh, and I'd like to wash that pink blouse, see how that dries up. The neckline on one side kind of wants to, it's like it's pulled out of shape. So I'll see what it's like once it's washed with the facing, and I might end up sewing a line of top stitching to stabilize it with the facing and see if that makes a difference. But I'll wash it first and see how that looks. Yeah, so I might do that when I get home as well. And I've got a little bit more plying to do. I don't even know if I've shown you guys. I think I showed you the fibre I was dyeing, but a bit of dyeing, and yes, I've got to do some plying, not a bit of dyeing. I've got to do some plying, finish that, so I might show you a bit of that. And I've actually got heaps of job cards to type up because Evan hasn't brought any home for a couple of weeks. Ugh. But at least I'm on top of everything else, so yeah. Figure out what to have for dinner. It's a bit of a ramble really about nothing, isn't it? And yeah, but I can get through that stock take. It's just eventually I get quite sore because I'm sort of, I've got the scanner in this hand and I'm just flipping the books, and some of them are quite heavy, and then I'm picking them up, shelving them, back down, and it's just, yeah, it's quite hard on your wrists. When I worked in the public library and I was doing a lot of handling just through the day, I used to get quite a lot of pain, and it's still like it now. Like I wake up and my hands are numb. Yeah, overuse, people, overuse. So anyway, I will stop dribbling. I've been dribbling for 5 minutes about nothing, and I will touch base a bit later. Didn't do that very well, did I? Come on, Key. And off we go. Two disasters in 2 minutes, people. Cooking tea and doing dishes. And I was heating the oven up because I'm going to make some, like a pasta bake with mince meat and pasta and tomatoes and basil and stuff. So I'm defrosting the mince in the microwave and heating the oven up. So, is there a roasting dish in there with some oil because it smells really hot? And it can't be really the oven because I cleaned it the other day. I looked in there and I was like, no. I was like, definitely can smell something. So I opened up the oven door and all the smoke came out. And then I heard crackle, crackle. And what's happened is, when I did the Yorkshire puds last night, I should have put another dish underneath because I use muffin tins. And I had noticed when they were cooking, I looked and I thought, oh, that oil's sort of come up quite high as the puds have expanded. The oil had risen. And so it must have tipped out onto the bottom of the oven. Far out. So now I've got to wait for that to cool down so I can wipe it out and clean it out. That's the microwave telling me that it's finished. And so I proceeded to leave that, turn back around to the dishes, put my hand in the sink, and I cut my finger. Lucky I didn't faint. I usually faint. I'm a real fainter. I did this thumb. Can you see that scar? It's probably not the best. Hang on. Yeah, you can sort of see that scar there. Runs around. It was about November, about 5 years ago. And it was unusually hot. Something is getting warm here. It really quite can have hot days here, obviously, in November. But it was like, got home from work and it was like 35 degrees, which is hot. And Jess and I had jumped in. We used to have a spa pool, which we never ran because it was too expensive. But we decided to run it on cold in the summer. So we jumped in the spa pool. And so I was wearing a bikini because, you know, back then I was wearing a bikini. And then we got out and it was still damn hot. And I had a towel wrapped around my waist and I was just had my bikini top on. And I was saying to Jess and Evan, like, what should we have for tea? And nobody could give me any ideas. And I was just fed up. I was hot. I was fed up. No bugger was giving me any ideas. No one was offering to go and get takeaways because who wants to cook in the heat? And so back then, Evan was still doing quite a bit of hunting, and we had some venison meat patties in the freezer. So I pulled them out, but they were obviously frozen together, and I don't like defrosting them in the microwave because they sort of start to cook on the outside. So I had them up at the bench, and I was using a kitchen knife, big knife, to separate them, and it slipped and I cut into my thumb. Yeah, gross. And I think I grabbed a tea towel, shoved it on it, and then I came in here into the lounge, and I must have said a few swear words, and Evan came over and I started to lose consciousness, and he's trying to hold me under the armpits and he's saying to Jess, give me a hand with your mum. And he turned around and she was on the back of the chair and she was trying not to faint herself. He was so unsympathetic. He put me on the couch and he's going, Carla, snap out of it, Carla. And I was just like, ugh. So when I faint like that, I almost had a seizure. So my eyes roll back in my head and I shake and... So, anyway, he's fully trained to deal with this stuff. He's he's done all his fireman training, so they do all that medical stuff, first aid stuff. He went off and found a first aid kit, dressed my thumb. I don't even know what we had for tea that night. And then when it got to the morning, he actually looked at me and he says, oh, actually, Gunn, you probably should go to the doctor about that. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, it's pretty bad. And I said, well, why didn't you take me to A&E last night? And he goes, well, you were too bloody heavy to get in the ute. You kept fainting. So I went to the doctors. And they looked at it and said this should have been stitched. And so in the end they glued it together, but then it got infected because it being so long. So that was me trying to take my thumb off. So it's me and knives. One time, this is really rambly, I know, I'd met Evan, we were together, but we weren't living together. I had my little house on my own with the kids. And my mum had come over for a coffee. And I was cutting open, she was out on the deck, on the veranda, and I was cutting open a packet of bacon. And I had just a little veggie knife, and I put my thumb down on it, on the blade, but on what I thought was the top side, but I actually had the knife upside down. So I cut the side of my thumb, and it wasn't a deep cut, but it had made quite a nick into the fingernail. And I was like, ow, and put it in my mouth, and I came out, and Mum goes, what? And I said, I've cut myself, and next thing she said I was just out cold on the deck. And she said I was unconscious for a full 2 minutes. I was out for the count the whole night. I was so unwell. I wanted to vomit. Oh, it was just, yes, my reaction to things like that is not very good. I didn't faint when I did that, did I? I don't want to look at it. I put a tea towel around it and then went into the bathroom and... I wonder if it's cooled down enough that I can wipe out the oven. Calamity after calamity, I tell you. I've got that little bit of washing folded up. I'll show you the spinning so far. It's my girls' home. Say hi. Say hola. Oh, you're on camera. No, I'm not FaceTiming anyone.
Right.
You think it was Uncle Andrew?
I don't know.
Right. So this is the first layer. So it's just minced beef fried up, cooked off with onion, garlic, little sweet peppers, salt, and then pre-cooked some pasta, mix that with it, and I've just sprinkled some Parmesan cheese over the top. And this is just a white sauce, a roux, with I've put a little bit of garlic in that as well, and some smoky paprika, smoked paprika. But I've got a question, so I'm going to put cheese on top of that. Actually, I might put some cheese in that and then on top as well. But now that I know that I've got a few American people watching me, can you tell me why your guys' cheese is orange? Because ours looks like butter. This is just cheddar cheese. It's just Colby cheese, but it's not orange. And I've always wondered, like, whenever I watch them like make macaroni cheese or something, and it's this really funny orange colour, like they've coloured it with carotene or something. So there's a question for you. Thanks. I'll show you once it's ready to go in the oven. There we go. We're in the oven. Oh, the outside looks like it needs a bit of a wipe. I'll do that in a minute. Ready to go. There she is. All ready to go. There's my dinner. So I wish you all a good night, and I'll see you on the next one.